Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Friday night in the shop, still plugging away at Project Heavy Hauler. I want to say, I love that some of you are interested in trucks like I am. I'm just going to film what I do here in the shop, and right now, I'm really into this truck, and to me, for my lifestyle, friends, my lifestyle is not normal, even for people that live around here or people I work with. I live rural, and part of living rural is you're your own delivery man, water hauler, garbage getter or sender. All that stuff gets done with my truck. Whatever rig that I've had, I've made it work for my needs. Now, the cool thing is about me and the way my life's gone is my life's gotten better and better and better, and I've been able to purchase a truck like this. This truck is for doing work. It's not my daily driver, and I feel really blessed to be able to buy such a cool truck and use it for my work. Today's video, we're going to continue on. I'm just plugging away a little at a time. In the last video, we put the bags on. In the video before that, I did my full exhaust install. This video, I want to get this headache rack installed. Now, I'm doing this because the next thing I'm going to do is run my lights. I can pull all my wires down. I'm going to run my air lines up and into the cab, and I'm going to run all my wiring to under the hood to my relays, and then I'll pull it all back in. So it's kind of, I'm doing multiple projects on this truck at once, but they're all going to come together. And then I got to put my gauges in, which means more wiring coming from under the hood, through the firewall, and inside. So I'm kind of jumping around, but it's all going to come together, I promise you guys. Now, this rack here, this is the exact headache rack I was looking for. This is a Westcan. Friends, these are super spendy. Like, I think this setup here new is like $1,800 Canadian, around there. Might even be $2,000 now. And for me, it's just not in the budget to spend $2,000 on a rack for an old rig like this. You know, there's bills to pay and food to be bought. You guys know the deal. So I got to keep my expectations real. And for me, a lot of the way I get stuff done is I'll be patient and I'll watch Kijiji and Marketplace. And I've been looking for a rack for this thing since I got it. And this one came up for sale. Friends, I'm not going to lie. I bought this whole rig for $100 Canadian. That's about, what, 50 bucks US now with exchange? I can't go wrong. Now, this rack is for an F-150 6.5 foot bed. Well, I got a 6.5 foot bed on this. This isn't a direct bolt-on to my rig, but let's be honest, friends. I want to talk about the rust on this truck. Let's have a look at the rust right now. Okay. I've had a lot of comments about the rust. We got a little bit coming through on the cab corners. This fender's completely toast. But I mean, other than that, friends, I mean, this thing's clean. There's, you know, it's in good shape. There are some holes in the bed. This bed's shot, friends. I mean, it's straight. It's not crooked. You know, sometimes they kind of get twisty. This bed's in nice shape, but it is quite rusty. So we're gonna have to do something about that. But yeah, we got the fender well rust. And I wish this truck didn't have any rust, but that's just kind of the way the deal is. Okay, I'm going to put you guys back in the mount. Let's talk about the rust. So I've had a ton of comments. You know, Tin Man, that sure would be a nicer truck if you fix the rust. And when are you going to fix the rust, Tin Man? Well, honestly, friends, I live in the Rust Belt. Everything's rusty here. Like, vehicles rust here. This thing is not rusty for an almost 30-year-old truck. Now, it does have rust. Now, I want to enter the mind of the Tin Man. This is a tool for doing work. This isn't a going to town rig or a showing off rig. In fact, 98% of the time, I'm driving this alone on a back road in the dark, hauling stuff. I will fix the rust, friends, but fixing the rust this year means I wouldn't have this truck. All the painters I know are inundated with work, like anybody else in a trade. And painting and bodywork is definitely a trade. There's not enough people to do the work. So for me, I'm going to keep the rust in check as good as I can. I do spray rust check on my rusty rigs. I'm going to replace the front fenders as soon as I can find a set. I'll do that. Cab corners I can do myself. Now this bed, friends. For right now, I'm going to run this setup on this bed, but I'm on the fence. 6.5 foot bed sides for this truck are, they're hard to find. I'm not finding any. I'm sure they're out there. I haven't looked good enough, but realistically, friends, the floor of this thing needs major surgery. 2 of the ribs underneath are rotten. The bed sides are rotten. The tailgate's mint on this thing, but it's like the front is mint, but everything else kind of needs to go. So to me, it's like fixing the rust on this bed is going to be almost impossible. Finding a 6.5 foot bed for an OBS around here that's not rusty, maybe. I'll keep my eyes open, but I kind of got to work with what I got. Yeah, they make patch panels. So I'm kind of on the fence about what I'm going to do with the back of this truck. The front floors are mint in this truck. There's no rust, no rot. The firewall's good. The fenders are rusty, but I mean, the hood's good. So really, I'm going to focus on making the cab minty. I'll do the body work probably next year. As soon as I get a bigger shop that I can move around in, we're going to do that. This thing, I think what I'm going to do, friends, is put a deck on this. I'd like to put a deck, same width as the body, maybe 7 feet. Put a nice steel or aluminum deck on this truck and put a new headache rack, and then, I don't know, maybe mount a crane on here. I'd kind of like to have a small crane that I can lift logs on and heavy things, my water tank, stuff like that. But that's kind of the plan. So anyways, I won't flap on about the rust anymore, but I want to make sure this thing's mechanically sound and 100% reliable and everything works on it, and then I'll fix the rust. Anyhow, let's get going fitting this. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this headache rack and these bed rails, and I've kind of mocked it up here. I'm kind of going to talk to you guys about what I'm going to do to it. Okay, so here's my bed rails. You guys can see. Now, these originally have mounts that go into the stake pockets. I'll show you those. Here's what these come with. Super nice. Basically, you put the mount in the stake pocket, you give her a turn, latch her down, and then these screw through the holes in the bed, the stock holes that are there. Well, these are for an F-150. Now, I had to cut these off. They're completely seized, so we're not going to be using these, which is fine. This bed's not in the best shape, so I have a new plan. And so I cut all 4 of these off because the factory mount holes are not going to fit in the stake pockets. The front of the rails are going to be like back here, and I want the headache rack fairly close to the rear window. Here's the back, and it fits nicely. It's tight against the body, so that's good. The only thing is I had to slide it in. It's got about a 3/4 of an inch overlap at the front. So all in all, I think I'm going to leave this where it is. These little wings that are here, I'm going to bend these over. I just kind of marked it. I can wipe this off after with some gas. But I'm going to bend it in front of that mark at a 90 and just kind of wrap it around the front. I don't really want to cut it off. And then, so now this thing's perfectly centered, and I'm going to put, I think, 1 light there, 1 light there, and 1 on either corner. And the ones on the corner, I aim them back towards me on an angle, so when I'm backing up trailers, I can actually see. So basically, friends, this thing's going to fit. First thing I've done, I've kind of measured and marked where I want my holes. I'm just going to bolt this thing right down to the top of the bed rails, and I think we'll be good to go. So anyways, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to drill my holes, and we'll get this thing happening. And really, friends, a proper working hauling truck needs a headache rack, and the reason for that is you're going to break your rear window. You're going to huck firewood in here or whatever. You're going to stack something in here and you're going to break your rear window. That's just the way it goes in a work truck. So to me, this is like an absolutely must-have thing on a working rig. For me anyways, I don't want to break this window. Anyhow, I'm going to get drilling and let's get rocking and rolling. She's got a 3-speed gearbox on her. Oh yeah. Okay, there's 1 hole. I picked these nice stainless carriage bolts. Yeah, those will fit in there real nice. There's one hole. Flip this thing around. Whew. It's tight in here, friends. I'm gonna get it be a bigger shop one day. Drill this hole. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to mount this back on the bed. Just lean this here. Mount it back on the bed and line up my holes, and then I can pre-drill everything. You guys are going to laugh probably, but sheet metal worker, these are my wide nose pliers. That's what we call them. Duckbill wide nose. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm just going to clamp this on that line and bend her over. Adjust these a little bit. Hey, it ain't pretty, but it works. Oh, the sheet metal I've bent with these pliers right here. There we go. That'll tuck nicely around the frame. Hope you guys can see that. And nicely around the bed. Okay, we're good to go. And throw these on the bench there. Okay, now I'm going to pick these back up. Slide this back onto there. Now all I'm going to do, I'm using the corner of the bed rail as my lineup point. The inside of the headache rack is about a 1/4 inch over from that. So all I got to do right now is take one of these bolts that holds it all together. And I'm just going to slip that into the headache rack. And that should hold everything sitting where it needs to be. Just like this. Just want to make sure that this is straight. Okay, now I'm just going to grab my Sharpie. Now it'd be nice if I could drill these in place, but that's just not the way she's going to work. Grab my Sharpie and I'm just going to put a little dot in the center. Okay, and I've already marked the front and back. Now I'll pull it back off again, drill my holes, and then we can bolt this side together, and then I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, one. One. Two. 3. 4. Now I'll grab my drill bit. Actually, I gotta go one size smaller, so I'll just grab the right drill bit here. What size do I want? I don't know what it is, but I like doing little projects like this. It's just fun. I want this to be fairly tight. This is sheet metal. And I did grab some fender washers from the store. Some big heavy fender washers. Then I can brace it. Okay, now I'll drill all 4 holes. I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, well. Okay, nice. There's actually, the front's kind of thin, but the back here actually has some meat behind it. So does that, and this one. Beauty. I know I just drilled holes in this vintage, beautiful Ford bed, but we'll get over it. It's a truck. It's for doing work. Okay, now I'll reinstall it. I'm just horsing around, friends. We'll be okay. Now I'm going to put the bed rail back on, and I'm going to mount this thing all back together. Oh, if I had a nickel for every time I've hit that spring. Don't get me wrong, friends. I love this shop. I've been working out of this shop for, what, 12 years? But 10 years? I've been here 12 years. I can't remember when I cut the hole in this shop, though. But I can touch the ceiling. She's low. Okay, now I bought these nice stainless carriage bolts because they look kind of nice. They don't catch on anything. Throw those in here. Now I'm going to put these heavy fender washers on and some nuts. That should hold this thing in pretty stiff. I don't think we'll have any problems with it moving. And again, it's just like the bags. Know what you got and don't overdo it. Okay, now let's do the other side. I'm excited to get this thing on here. Might be a small thing to some people, but main reason why I want this on is I need my backup lights. I can't see when I'm backing up. It's all kinds of dark here at night. Well, she fit nicely. She ain't perfect, but she's a good looking headache rock. And this thing's on there. I'm moving the whole truck, so it looks good. Like, I like the way these look on a big heavy truck like this. And like I said, it's not too tall. It's it's just a couple inches higher than the clearance lights. And she's a real beauty. So there you guys go. It does pay to try and get a deal in today's world. Money is hard to make and easy to spend. So I'm that feller. I'm always hunting on the marketplace, whether it be for chainsaws or truck parts. I'm that guy. Thanks for watching. Take her easy. Let's jump into a question of the day. Today's question of the day comes from Garfield Cunningham. How's it going, Garfield? Thanks for sending me this email. Garfield had a question, and the question went like this. Do I think an iron horse pipe would suffer from a domed end instead of the flat end? The answer to that is, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. One thing I do know about that style of pipe, where you put the exit and the size of the exit is just as important as the size of the head pipe. If the exit's too close to the end, it doesn't work. And if it's too far back, it doesn't work. And if it's too small, it doesn't work. What I don't know is if you put a dome on the end, would it change it? The only way to know is to find out and do it. So that's my answer. My answer is I don't know, and that's the fun of this. Sometimes you come up with an idea and you go, what would that do? And the only way to prove that out is to just try it and mark down your results. That's what I do, and I know that's what the Iron Horse does. You try things, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Anyhow, the answer is to that question, I don't know, but I'd be curious. If you do that, send me a video of that running, and I'd like to see it. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Take her easy, and we're going to finish this truck this weekend. I'd like to drive her again. I kind of miss her. Later.